First of all, we'd like to thank every single person in this room for coming out tonight and spending time out of your busy schedules and maybe dinners with customers, dinners with factories. Come out here and really take time to be with our furniture industry family. So I applaud you all for that. Tonight is a night to have fun, ladies and gentlemen. So our schedule tonight is going to be very casual, but very elegant at the same time. And we are very fortunate to have a lot of sponsors that really went out of their way to make sure that this was possible tonight for the Spillman family and for the Capot family and for some of the other honorees that you will listen to tonight. Before we start this program, I want to start the right way. And I believe that an invocation is the right way to start. So we're going to call up Gary Jones to please come up and thank God for our meals. Thank you.
Let's pray. Father, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we thank you for all the blessings that you've given to us. Thank you most importantly for the fact that you love us and that you care for us and that you're intimately concerned about every detail in our life. And Lord, we have a tendency to take for granted the abilities, talents, gifts, and blessings that you've given to us. And so I pray that we would not take those things for granted, but we thank you. We're thankful for those. And Lord, I'm just thankful for each one here. Just appreciate their lives, appreciate the relationships and the friendships that we have, and let's not lose sight of those things and those relationships. And there are people here tonight, in the midst of this great celebration, there are people that are hurting, and we want to pray for Tommy Leflin and his family and just pray that you'd comfort them. You've promised to meet us at the point of need, and so I pray that you would meet those people who are hurting at the point of need. And Lord, most importantly, we're thankful for you and for the fact that we can have a personal relationship with you. And we ask that you bless this food to the nourishment of our bodies, and we pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Tonight, and because we have a casual setting as far as our program tonight, the gentleman here, just so you from the very get-go know who he is our very new 78th president of IHFRA, Jeff Weed.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks very much. And our 77th president, outgoing Frank, who is now our chairman of the board. Yeah, why not? Frank's done an amazing job this year. We've had a lot of fun. Frank's a high-energy dude. I like to have a little fun myself, so we've done okay. And we're going to have a great year this year. We really appreciate everyone coming out here tonight. This organization is in such great shape, and we're going to do some great new things. Frank's going to make sure I stay in line. And I'm going to do my best to make sure that Frank keeps me in line.
Well, a couple of the things that we wanted to touch base with you tonight is under not only the leadership of myself and Matt Keepers, who was chairman this past year, but Mike Rudd and all the past presidents that have contributed so much to this organization. We'd like to recognize them, and please recognize every past president of IHFRA tonight. Just to give you a quick update on the organization, I'm going to give you a couple of things, and Jeff will give you the others. Our membership, when I came on this board, being a high, maybe a little low energy kind of guy, they said, we need a membership, and we have been relentlessly focusing on having not only sales reps, but affiliated companies, manufacturers, and retailers be part of this organization and take benefits. So I am proud to tell you that the first quarter of this year, we have more members than we have ever had, 2,200, I believe, this month, and that's a great accomplishment. Thank you. About HBU, about a couple of the initiatives.
I've got a lot more to say when I talk to you later tonight. So I know you're just on pins and needles to hear it. You're going to have to wait through everybody else. It'll be worth the wait, trust me. With that said, please enjoy the meal, enjoy some good conversation, and get ready for a wonderful evening. We're really excited to have everybody here. Let's have some fun.
Thank you very much, and let's have a great time tonight. Best Buy has donated a few gifts for you all tonight. Jeff, why don't you go ahead and tell them what it is?
In your program this evening, right after the About IHFRA page is an ad for Best Buy for Business. And if your program this evening has a star on it, you've won a prize.
Please open your books if you have them on the table, because you could very well be taking a wonderful prize home tonight. Which is the star and the other one? What is the other one? All right, so we have to give away two wonderful prizes. One of them is a LG LED TV and also a Fitbit Blaze Smart Fitness. If on your program you have a star, or what is the other thing? Please take a quick peek at your programs. If you didn't get it, you didn't win. Huh? It's in your program where you'll see the ad down here right under our sponsors that says Best Buy for Business. If you look at that page, somebody has a star, or a couple folks have a star. Somebody's got it. Come on, don't be shy. All right, we're going to have to help you guys win this thing. I hate when I have to do this. If you're on table 61 or, what was it, 43, Jennifer? Table 42 and table 61. You may want to, 43? 43 and 61, check your book. You're not checking good enough. Just come up here to our table number 2, and Jennifer Sova, which is our spectacular membership coordinator, will get you your prize. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Hope your dinner is, you're doing well with your dinner. My name is Al David, and I am the second vice president of IHFRA for this year. Thank you. It's an honor to be serving on the board of IHFRA. What I'd like to do now is go ahead and introduce our models that were out in the lobby when you came in, and they're going to be assisting us throughout the presentation and bringing our honorees to the stage. They are representatives of ITMA, and we're honored to have from ITMA today some of the models and their secretary-treasurer, Kelly DeFaggio.
Good afternoon. We are honored to be here tonight to help you honor the recipients of the awards. And I want to start out by saying that I have noticed a lot of ITMA members in the crowd. So I'm happy to see that we have some ITMA members here supporting this event. A lot of people ask us what ITMA is, and for those of you that do not know, it stands for the International Textile Market Association. And to be very plain and to keep it very simple, we, the ITMA members, are what covers the furniture that you present today. So without the ITMA members, your furniture would be naked. A lot like those contortionists that we had out in the courtyard. So we are the largest decorative coverings show in North America. So we have textiles, we have leather, and we have trimmings. So like the ITMA, we're a nonprofit organization, and we're run by a board of directors that are all volunteers. We have 155 members currently from 14 countries. And every year we put on a show called Showtime in June and December, where we have 600 buyers that attend, which we think that is very cool, and it's a hard thing to do. But the other thing that we are very passionate about is our educational foundation. And this is something that is pretty much of a soapbox for me, because our industry is not getting any younger. I feel that it is important to cultivate and recruit new talent to our industry, not just in textiles, but also for the manufacturing. And so what ITMA is trying to do with our educational foundation, a lot of our members aren't even aware of what we do to foster that. We do internships for our member companies. We have a founder scholarship that sends children of our members to college. We do student tours from other campuses to tour members in our industry so they can see what happens in your manufacturing plant, so they know what is going on, and to really recruit so they can come into this industry. And right now, we are developing a new tour for sales reps that are coming into our industry. We have a new organization called the YTP, which is the Young Textile Professionals, that we're also mentoring. So thank you tonight. We really want to try to foster our new generation of leaders, and we'd really like to do that with your organization. So hope everybody has a great night and enjoys themselves. Thank you.
Hello. Hello? Hello. I just want to reiterate something that Kelly said. Without their organization, the furniture would be naked. Nowhere near the same reaction. We were wondering at our table if it would get the same reaction. It didn't. This next gentleman is going to give us a quick little talk on the state of markets. I feel like he appears at more award shows than anybody, but he never wins an award. So I think if anything, he should win an award for his hair. His hair is outstanding. It's the best hair in the industry by far. Mr. Marisich, if you're ready to come give us the truth, we'd love to hear it.
Jeff, thank you very much. The last time I was in front of a group of reps, Tommy Lefline introduced me, and he exaggerated about my resume and accomplishments so badly that I said, Tommy, these people know me. I mean, you can't do that. So, in any case, just a thought about, I wouldn't be so bold to talk about the state of the industry. I think Jerry Epperson here, he's far better prepared for that, but I'll make a couple comments about market, and I'll be brief. First of all, I think market was really solid. You all know in your old individual worlds how it was, but I expected it to be relatively soft. And the reason I expected it to be relatively soft is there's so many reports of retail being soft the last 3 months that I felt that that might hold back some of the buyers. But my experience, and you know, we have over 1,000 tenants in our properties, is that it was a solid market. It met expectations. You know, everybody focuses, particularly here locally after market, with what's attendance? You know, how is attendance? And I think those of you that are in the trenches every day realize that's a deceptive number. You know, one fact that's unavoidable is in the last 8 years, we've gone from 60,000 furniture furnishings doors to 48,000. We've lost 12,000. The good news is last year that upticked, and there appears to be more store openings now since the 1990s. But the real proof of the pudding is the commerce that's being done. And one thing as I look at market going forward, I know one thing, and that is that it's going to be different. And it's going to be dramatically different. And that's because of the demographics that are incredibly in our favor. If you go back to 1981, the industry was doing about $30 billion. And today it's doing $120 billion. You throw furnishings and floor coverings in there, maybe $150, $160 billion. And what's the magic about 1981? And I'll tell you what the magic is, and I'll give credit to my friend Jerry Epperson here, there's an incredibly powerful chart that shows furniture consumption by age in his latest Furniture Digest. And 35 to 56, I believe, 54, 50, is the magic spot. It's the sweet spot. And after 56, the decline is just precipitous. It just falls off. Well, in 1981, the first baby boomer turned 35. And you have this mass of consumers that came through the pipeline that drove the business from that $30 billion range to the $120 billion range. 2014 is a magic number because what happened in 2014? The first millennial turned 35. And now the millennial population, 83 million strong, 45% more consumers in the next 15 years than in the Gen X group. As I don't have to tell you how different those consumers are and how different we have to be to address the needs of these millennials, but this is a powerful, powerful force that's surging through the industry. And it's going to be an exciting time. I jokingly told a group this morning that if you were smart enough to get in 1971 when it was $20 billion and get out in 2008, you had a great career. But I have to tell you, for those of you that are young enough to benefit from the next 10 or 15 years, it's going to be back like that, but only multiplied. The other thing, and I told you this last year from my perspective, and I hate to repeat myself, but I believe it's true. When someone says, you know, how was the market? My response for the last 10 years is, man, market's always the same. I don't care if there's a recession. I don't care if business is just rocketing. There's always winners and losers. Just is always the case. And it's interesting to walk around from our perspective. You say to yourself, okay, what are the winners what are they doing that's so different? And it's amazingly unsophisticated, at least from my view. They're bringing a lot of great, relevant new product out. They're telling their customers about that new product before market. They're actually marketing. and they're using their rep force to bring people to market and to get them into their showroom. And in that context tonight, I think about the most important role of reps in separating winners from losers. When I look at companies that are flailing out there, kind of the canary in the coal mine for me is I look at their rep force. Some people call them their marketing representatives. If that's in decline, if there's turnover, if they're dispirited, if they're not bringing people to market, that's a company that's failing. And so I just like to close tonight, ask you to raise a glass to all the reps that are in this room that are winners and that are making their companies winners. Cheers.
Wow. Words of wisdom from somebody that really knows the industry and somebody that's outstanding in forecasting and seeing what's going on because of their spaces at market. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce entertainment for you tonight. Blues Extract along with Ray Allegresa.
It's a marvelous night for a moon dance with the stars up above in your eyes. Fantabulous night to make romance to the cover of October skies. Though the leaves in the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow, and I'm trying to place to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. All of the night magic we do, whisper and hook, all of the soft moonlight seems to shine in your blood. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? I just make some more romance with you, my love. Well, I wanna make love to you tonight. Can't wait till the morning has come. When you come, the time will be just right. Straight into my arms you will run. When you come, my heart will be waiting. Make sure that you're never alone. There and then all my dreams will come true, dear. There and then I will make you my own. Every time when I touch you, you just tremble inside. And I know how much you want my love that you can't hide. Can I just have one more moon dance with you? I just make some more romance with you, my love. It's a marvelous night for a moon dance, yeah. Stars up above in your eyes. Fantabulous night to make romance through the cover of October sky. The leaves in the trees are falling to the sound of the breezes that blow, and I'm trying to place to the calling of your heartstrings that play soft and low. Every time when I touch you, you just tremble inside. And I know how much you want my love that you can't hide. Can I just have one more moon dance with you, my love? I just make some more
right. What great talent
Thank you so
tonight.
much.
Wonderful talent tonight. They'll be performing a few more songs, and we're making this program very short and sweet, and we're on time. We got a timer here. Nobody's going to talk for 80 minutes. And I can tell you right now that after this program is done, we have 2 cash bars outside, and you all can stay and enjoy the evening. Well, I want to introduce the new person in our slate, in our committee, in our executive committee. This is Mr. Jonathan Schulman from California. You know, one of the things that personally myself I am big on is new blood. Next generation, younger folks, they think out of the box. They give us a lot of insight to us that have been around for a while. And can I ever get this rising star thing, or
You?
what do you think?
Think that ship has sailed, don't you think? Besides, you have enough kids here. Pass the torch.
Maybe the legacy someday.
For sure. I'll put a good word in for you.
You'll put a good word for me? You know, something was wrong with that whole models picture. We got to talk about that. I didn't get to come up with any of the girls. It's not good.
You got me.
Well, tonight, our first awards, the first time in our history of the International Home Furnishings Reps Association, we are actually honoring some of our top performers in the industry of what we do, which is we're the guys that go between the factory and the retailer. We're the guys that tell the factory, we got to do it. And the retailer says, you got to do it. So we're the twist and pull here on this. Our rising star is something that we thought about in our committee as the people that are up and coming that will eventually be the presidents of this association, eventually be management in many of your companies, as well as unbelievable retailers if they ever want to leave representative and become a retailer or be in a retail organization or an environment. Why don't you go ahead and introduce some of those folks?
Really proud to recognize from the West Coast, Brian Wynn with Ashley Furniture.
Brian has only been in the business for 4 years, ladies and gentlemen, 4 years. Brian is in Southern California and San Francisco Bay Area, and he works for Ashley Furniture Industries. Let's give him a good round. You're on a timer.
Okay. I see that. There are many young and talented reps out on the West, and it's truly an honor to be recognized as a rising star. First and foremost, I want to thank the Wannocks and the Ashley family. If it wasn't for the consistent reinvestment back into the company and the support of the management and all the departments, I wouldn't be doing what I love to do. And I also want to do a special thanks to my mentors, Bill Herman and Deke Ballard. If it wasn't for their decades of experience, training, and advice, I wouldn't be up here tonight. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. A picture, let's get a picture right here. Let's have a great round of applause for Brian. The next person I'll introduce, since I wasn't allowed to come up with models.
Or me.
This young lady has been in the business for 9 years. She is also an Ashley representative. And I got to tell you, 9 years ago, she could have very well been in the Miss Universe pageant. Anna Elisa.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I would like to thank IHFRA for hosting such a terrific evening this evening and celebrating the industry. A special thanks to my Ashley Furniture family for allowing me to do what I love and supporting me and pushing me to be a better businesswoman. And lastly, to my family and friends and my team, thank you for always loving me and motivating me. I'm extremely honored to receive this award. Thank you.
Great round of applause for Anna. Well, this last guy, Jonathan, will present. The new sheriff is in town, ladies and gentlemen. I'll let him tell you all about it.
Apparently this guy's only been doing this a couple of months is what the rumor is. He proudly represents Caracol here in North Carolina, and his name is Carter Burns. Come on up.
The award, Jonathan, the award. There you go, brother. Thank you.
No, I'd just like to thank IHFRA for this. I've got friends that always tell me, you know, you don't have to worry about the crazy people now since I'm not in law enforcement anymore, but it's still crazy people, just non-violent crazy people is what I tell them. But no, I mean, this whole night we've talked about, you know, legacy of the reps and where we're going in the future. And in Caracol, every market, it starts the same way. It's a little repetitious, but it does sink in. It's about attitude. And I feel very humbled to meet Brian and Anna, and if the rest of the reps that are getting this entry are the same, those of you that laid the foundation for this, I feel it's in great hands, and it's an honor to be in this industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Carter. Well, it's not because I'm in a hurry, guys. It's not. Thank you, Carter. He's a wonderful asset. Gentleman's been in the business for 8 months, ladies and gentlemen. That's an incredible achievement. Because let me tell you how this comes about. We have retailers and some manufacturers that would like to participate in nominating their people and their reps as well. So going forward, some of you all retailers that are out there, we will be harassing you to nominate reps. We want to see the best of the best be honored and recognized every single year in this format. So we ask you retailers and we ask you manufacturers to please cooperate with IHFRA in the future in getting more and more involved in helping us find what you all want to have, which is great reps as manufacturers and great reps as retailers. Thank you very much. And without further ado, Mr. Jeff Weed.
One more time for Carter, Brian, and Anna, our future. I look forward to working with you all one day. I promise I'll work hard. Please give me a contract. Thank you. We're going to keep things rolling because we're really excited for this next award. So the band's going to eat, and we're just going to roll on to the Legacy Award because we really want to hear from these folks. So without further ado, some more of my friends, we're going to hear about more about the legacy of our industry.
At this time, we'd like to go ahead and honor our Legacy Award winners. These people have been in the industry for over 30 years, have set the foundation for where a lot of these rising stars are learning from, and we'd like to go ahead and honor them and say thank you for providing the service to this industry with the best of your ability. So the first one that we'd like to honor from the East Coast, our honoree is Larry Lodish. Larry's on his way up. Jonathan, come on up here for a minute. As a new member of the EC, what do you see the advantages of this Legacy Award?
You know, I was going to touch on this on my introduction, but I remember the guy that called on me back in, 1995 when I was a young guy and thought I knew everything. And these pillars that you hear about all the time really are a special group. They add a lot. They're the big reason why a guy like me who was in retail got into repping and carry a bag in their name. So all of these guys are great, and I can't wait to see the next ones that come on through the years.
There are many hundreds, if not more, candidates that have spent their lives doing what I do and deserve this award as much as I do. It makes this a very humbling experience. I have been to over 100 markets. I have driven 1.5 million miles over the past 50 years. And what that means is, A, I am very lucky to be alive, and B, I am very, very old. I have had many great lessons on the road and would like to share just 2 of them with you. In my first week ever out on the road in Philadelphia with the Simmons Company, I called on an account in North Philadelphia that was on my list. The owner who greeted me had torn pants and had a stained shirt. And he asked me, he looked like a homeless person. He asked me how I thought he looked, and I said, fine. Then he said, no, I don't. Haven't you noticed how I'm dressed? I ignored the question. He knew I was a rookie just starting out, and he wanted to guide me. I dress like this, he said, because I want to and I can. He said, look over to your right. And I did, and out on the window was a brand new Cadillac. He said, I bought this car last week. I buy one every year. I go into showrooms and see how I am treated, dressed just like this. When I went to buy that car, all the people were laughing, except one young salesperson who had just finished his week of training. He was the only person that greeted me. I asked him to tell me all about this car. When he finished, I said, I'll take it. In shock, the salesman asked me how I would pay for it. And I said, cash, now. I proceeded to take out thousands and $100 bills and the rest of the salespeople who were laughing were not laughing anymore. He told me this story because he knew I was just starting out, so that I would never prejudge anyone by their appearance, and I have never done that. 12 years later, I continued my career in New York Metro with Stanley Furniture for the 5 boroughs in Long Island. On my first week to Long Island, I walked in a store, and the owner said in a very, very nasty tone, what do you want? I was carrying a bag, and he knew I was a salesman. He said to me, you think you are going to get an order? I said, that would be nice. He said, I'll give you 2 orders. Get out and stay out. I had just driven 2.5 hours and was wondering what third world country I was in. I just stood there for a few minutes, and he angrily said to me, come over here. I sat down, showed him the line, and 45 minutes later, I went out with a very nice order. After leaving, I congratulated myself and realized I could not do this, and I would never, ever be intimidated by anybody. After all these years, I still get a thrill of writing an order and will continue selling as long as the passion and excitement is there. The furniture industry has been great to me. I've made a myriad of friends and contacts. I've won many awards in my life, but this Legacy Award is the most special. It puts a permanent stamp on my life and a permanent meaning to my life. Thank you again for honoring me.
Wow, that's a cool story. One of my favorite things about sitting and talking to the guys that have been on the road for a while is listening to stories like that. My very first year as a rep, I had the privilege of having dinner with a group of guys, and one of the gentlemen was 80 years old, and he was still carrying a bag, and he said, I'll never forget it, when he started out, it was less expensive to get in the car, drive 20 miles, stay in a motel room, and be at the store when it opened, than to pick up the phone and make a long-distance call. And it just puts it into perspective. The next award is a Legacy Award for the West Coast. I'm proud to say I've known for a while, although we haven't had much dealings, but back in the mid-'90s, he came and called on me, shaggy-haired guy with a bag of fabrics, and I think I might have given him an order. And funny enough, bumped into him again last night at Donny Osmond, which was a great show, by the way. Anyway, it's my privilege and a real honor to award Michael J. Burton with the Legacy Award for the West Coast.
Well, that's pretty hard to follow. So, you know, it's kind of a millennial thing. I try to hang with my younger generation here. So if I stumble, I'm sorry. Thank you all very much. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here tonight and to be selected by all of you, friends in both retail and on the wholesale side, all the professionals and peers in our industry. But wow, has this industry changed in 40 years? Making buttons in a factory and swatches and trying to get up the guts to call Martin Ploy to say, sorry, I can't make your delivery. Sorry, Martin. But you know, when we look back at it, you know, 40 years has really gone by pretty quick. But if we realize 40 years ago, no cell phones, no laptops, no iPads, no spell check on Word. We only had IBM typewriters with a big bottle of whiteout. Make sure the prices were right. And it seemed to work okay. There wasn't any email addresses to worry about, Facebook or Twitter, or all the online craziness that we deal with today. All the reps, we all carried a Lions book, look for the ones and the twos, right? We had a Thomas guide, didn't have GPS. And at night when we got to the hotel room, there was always that Gideon's Bible in the drawer. The early fax machine was called a Quip machine. We used to use carbon, 3-page carbon order pads and hope our pens would never run out of ink. Our home lines were our line. We had a pager with an additional 48-digit 1-800 number to call to get the best rate available through AT&T at the time. And we always dreaded that phone call when the pager went off to stop in a pay booth to make that call. And in South Central Los Angeles, it was always interesting. How did we really make it happen? How did we ever really find a store? But for those of you who remember the days we sat in the bullpens, talking to each other, waiting to see a major account, to hopefully go in and sell our goods and the products, and then hopefully get a few leads from each other. But that's what IHFRA has for us as reps. We share a lot of information. There's been a slew of people in this industry that have helped myself and my team on the West Coast over the years that I've had the pleasure of working with, calling on, and doing some wonderful business with. See, it's a millennial thing. I'm humbled to work with the companies that we presently work with today. Uniters, Leathermaster out of Florida, Lawanto out of Finland, Hamola out of Germany, and Robert Michael on the West Coast. Both the past and present lessons that these companies have thrown our way and challenged us as sales association, it's helped molded myself and my team over the last 40 years. But it's not over yet. There's a lot of years ahead of us. I hope to have the same years experience as my predecessor and hope to mentor the young people that are coming into this organization. I'm very blessed and lucky to have my son Michael Jr. work with me, my adopted son Mark Cisneros, my brother Gary London, that round out our team, Burton in Southern California, who I care about very deeply and allow me to succeed in all my endeavors. Truly, I want to thank all of you and all my support that help, and I want to thank my family that allow me to do what I do best, and thank the industry. Thank you.
For our last Legacy Award honoree, this gentleman is a good friend of mine. He happens to be from the Michigan chapter, IHFRA. He will tell you all the wonderful things that he's done for IHFRA in the past. In just a moment, I'd like to now call to the stage our 2006 Legacy honoree for the Middle of the United States, Bob Bruns.
This is for you, John and David. Well, this is not going to work. The difference between a millennial and a boomer is they can read those words. I am honored to be here tonight among the many of the brightest and the best. Congratulations to the rising stars, fellow Legacy honorees, Kathy Parks, El Dorado Furniture, and Rob Spillman. What an incredible group. Congratulations to IHFRA and the EC for another awesome Fiag. This organization has served as a platform that many sales reps have used to elevate themselves in our industry. And an organization that over time has to serve to educate its members. An organization that has offered exceptional benefits, and an organization that has been an advocate on behalf of professional sales reps. I am proud to have been a part of that. One of the things that I've done in my career is surround myself with people that are a lot smarter than I am. People who are passionate and driven. During my journey over the last 40 years, I have met, worked for, and done business with many of the great people and great companies, and I'm honored. I was fortunate to start my career as a sales associate in Omaha on 22nd and Farnham at Nebraska Furniture Mart. This company taught me a work ethic that has been unmatched. How lucky was I to start my career working for the family of the Blumpkins. When I moved from retail to the manufacturing side of the business, I worked for other great companies like Bassett Bedding, Serta, Benchcraft, and Berkline. I got to work with great people like Jim Nation, Bill Hemmer, Keith Franklin, and Bill Wittenberg. Thank you to all for being my mentors, colleagues, and my friends. But the most important thing that happened to me in my business career was a series of events that started with the closure of Brookline. Many of you will remember this. It was 5 years ago this week. A 30-minute telephone call the week after the announcement changed my life. During this call to China, Mark Holmes and I discussed how we could reposition Cosia, change their business model, and rejuvenate the robotics massage chair category in the US market. How exciting was that for me? I can't tell you. It was incredible. I was able to share my vision with several of my previous company's sales reps, and we moved forward with a business plan. 5 years later, Cosia is the market leader in the category. Without the professional sales representatives that we have involved in our company, this would have never happened. We put together a great company with great people. Thank you to the Cosia sales team, especially Mike Root and the Grand Dragon, Emmett Root. Thank you, Greg Hunsucker, John Cribbs, and especially thank you to my partner, Mark Holmes. But the best part of this is that we are just getting started. IHFRA, and especially the Michigan chapter, have been instrumental in elevating the position of sales representatives in the home furnishings industry. I have a deep appreciation and an admiration for the leadership of this organization. Thank you for this award and for all that you do. Now there's one last thing. The real reason I am standing here tonight is that during my journey, I have one person that has been there for me all through the journey, during the good times and the bad. She is my business partner, the mother of my children, and the love of my life. We have spent the last 35 years together, and I'm looking forward to the next 35. Romy, thank you, and I love you, and you are simply amazing.
Next on our agenda, when you folks were coming in today, we wanted to provide some entertainment for you. So you might have noticed that we had some jugglers and hoop people and some hand balancers. They represent a company called Cirque du Veau out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And now for your entertainment pleasure, while we're preparing for the next award, we have Liz Hamilton, who is actually going to perform on the silks for us.
Wow, that was amazing. Another round of applause for that young lady. Well, I hope you're enjoying your evening. My name is Matthew Keepers, and I am the most recent past president of the IHFRA organization, so I'm officially retired now. So good for me. And I'm a millennial, but I'm just trying to keep up with all you boomers who have really led the way for our industry. Tonight, I get the pleasure to present the award for the Distinguished Service Award to a wonderful individual named Kathy Parks tonight. Kathy has been serving both as a director and a member of our organization for many years. The Harold P. Braun Distinguished Service Award was founded in 1975 and is IHFRA's highest honor for a member of our organization. The DSA has been given annually for the past 41 years to a deserving candidate. The recipient of the DSA is a person who embodies certain qualities and characteristics and has distinguished himself or herself on behalf of IHFRA to sales representatives and the industry. The recipient has also enhanced by deed and action the image of the home furnishings sales representative in the community and in the industry. No one has done more work to help furniture sales representatives than Kathy. She has played many roles at IHFRA. She hunts for benefits every day. She is a job placement specialist. If you need help, Kathy's the woman to call. She's a psychiatrist for many of y'all. I've heard all the stories. If you've got a problem, Kathy hears it and she helps you along the way. And she's a loyal friend to many people in this room and beyond. She manages the books for our organization very smartly. She's a great, beautiful person, and she's very deserving of this award. So please let me, we're gonna watch the video on Kathy, and then she'll come up to the stage, correct? All right, let's turn on the video, please.
I was born and raised in North Carolina. I went to Elon University. Shortly after Elon, I met my husband, got married, moved to Tennessee, had 2 wonderful children. I have John, who is age 40, who lives in Georgia, my daughter Kate, 35 in Richmond. I'm going to be a first-time grandma in August. I'm very excited about that. In 1985, we packed up the family and moved to Venezuela. While I was there, I worked for an international law firm and an international bank where I did debt-to-equity conversions. While we were in Venezuela, we had a wonderful time and a great experience for our family. In 1990, I came back to the States. I moved to Greensboro, North Carolina, my hometown. Started looking for a job. Since I'd already had so much international experience in Venezuela, I was searching out international jobs here locally. I didn't find too many. I actually had a job with Cone Mills. They're the world's largest denim producer. And I had a second interview come up at International Home Furnishing Center. After I interviewed with Bruce Miller, Bill DiPaolo, I was given the job of administrative assistant to the president, vice president of International Home Furnishing Center. So now I'm in the furniture industry and I don't know anything about it. So I began by interacting with the CEOs of the various furniture manufacturers, chairman of the board for IHFC. I learned a lot. I soaked it up like a sponge. Within a year, I have become the director of international services. We started programs for international buyers, and because I am bilingual in Spanish, I was able to travel to furniture markets in Valencia, Spain, Guadalajara, Mexico, Mexico City, and Sao Paulo, Brazil, to recruit international buyers to the High Point market.
When Kathy said about me last year that what I said you could take it to the bank, well, I'll throw that right back at you, Kathy. When you always call me, I don't have to take it to the bank. I just better listen and I better react, and I'm glad to do it every time. Keep the calls coming. You're a special person, and I'm glad to have worked with you, and I'm more happy to have known you.
In 2005, IHFRA was looking for a new executive director. I applied, and guess what? I got the job. IHFRA was struggling at the time. We had less than 1,000 members. So we went to work with the help of our executive committee. We implemented a lot of new programs. We modernized the technology and brought value to the membership, to the sales reps.
I've known Kathy for 25 years from her days in the building working with international buyers. And I came to IHFRA as part of the board about 5 years ago. And this past year, I was the president and had an opportunity to really work with Kathy on a day-to-day basis. She's exceptional, she's unbelievable, she's always happy with a great attitude, and she really has a challenging mind when it comes to acquiring any task that is given to her, and she's really an unbelievable person to work with, and I love her.
Today, IHFRA has over 2,200 members. In fact, it's easy for me to pick up the phone and call a potential member because I believe in IHFRA and I believe in what IHFRA has to offer its members.
I started with IHFRA right out of college. Kathy and I have been working together for over 10 years in what we call the dungeon of the IHFRA office. We battle it out daily for tasks to move IHFRA into the future of the industry. She is highly energetic and brings that into the membership and everything that we're doing. I couldn't ask for a better associate.
Congratulations, Kathy. Well deserved. I can't think of anybody more deserving. Enjoy the night.
I'm very happy Kathy is receiving this award, and I hope we work together for a long time.
The furniture industry and IHFRA are very important to me, and I'm honored to be receiving the Distinguished Service Award.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Parks, our Distinguished Service Award winner this evening.
I'm so honored to receive this award. Guys, it thrills me. Thank you so much. I'm in very esteemed company tonight. In our presence are a lot of other Distinguished Service Award winners and past presidents. Thank you. It's an honor to be with you. They say that furniture gets in your blood. Well, it definitely got in my blood. Who would have ever thought in 1990 I would be standing in front of you here 26 years later? IHFRA holds a special place in my heart. The association has many great leaders, and I've been honored to work with many of the presidents, executive committees, and members of the board. I want to congratulate this year's executive committee for pulling off another great event. These guys have worked, they deserve a hand. They have worked so hard and gone well beyond the call of duty. Through the years, you have all afforded me steadfast, positive counsel and truly lasting and meaningful relationships. I was honored to be chosen for this award, and it's been a pleasure to serve. But I want to let you know, IHFRA success is accomplished with the aid of many people. When I first became executive director in 2005, IHFRA was in a state of rebuilding. Little did I know the major hurdles that I would face, but I didn't face them alone. I want to give special thanks to my executive committee at the time. Ed Myers stepped up. He took control of the finances, got us all straightened out, and Mike Rutt, who was brand new to the board, started a marketing campaign. Ray Iser was the president, and his motto was, "Give them benefits." So I stand here tonight with over 2,200 members. Our finances are sound, and we have some outstanding member benefits. I'm very lucky tonight to have many friends here. I'm honored. I want to say a special thanks to David Ashwell, Jack Hahn, and Zenith. They have supported this industry to the nth degree. I couldn't do what I do without you guys. Thank you. Thank you. And then there's Jennifer. We're total opposites, yin and yang, but it works. Perfect complements to each other. And whenever anybody mentions Jennifer, they always say, "Oh, she's so sweet." What does that say about me? All right. A special thanks to the guy that gets me up and out of the house every morning, who gives me love and encouragement, my husband, Dave. I couldn't do it without you, Dave. It's going to be short and sweet. Once again, I'm honored to receive this award, and I look forward to serving IHFRA for many years to come. Thank you.
And before I introduce our next presenter, I'd like to take a quick minute and recognize the previous recipients of our next award, the Pillar of the Industry Award. The Pillar of the Industry Award is presented to an industry leader who has distinguished himself or herself with creative work to improve, enhance, and benefit relationships among representatives and other segments of the industry. This person's actions and deeds have shown their commitment to home furnishings industry, the community, and all of mankind. So if you would please stand when I call your name, I'd appreciate it, and we'll give them a round of applause at the end. Todd Wanick, John Bassett, Jeff Cook, Kevin O'Connor, Michael Amini, Ron Wanick, and our next presenter, Jerry Epperson. You can deliver.
Do I want it after you blew it? When you get to be my age, you go in a room and you think, why am I here? And the second thing that happens when you're in a room full of this many people and you open your eyes, you think, oh God, I hope I'm dressed. So this is real. I mean, there are real people here and everything. That's just great. All right, well, number one, I think I'm here because I'm old. I was looking at this wonderful list of past award winners, and by George, I knew every last one of them. All the former Pillar of the, I knew all of them. In fact, I probably had something dirty on most of them. It's what's kept me in the business all these years. And I know most of the reps. And boy, I've got the good stuff on them. But the real reason I'm here is because of my relationship with Rob and the Bassett family. And I thought about this, and it's gone back years and years and years. Do you realize that a Bassett signed the Magna Carta? That's important, okay? I don't know what it was either, but I remember reading about it. And Epperson would have signed it if Mongo would have known how to sign. We came across the Atlantic in the same ship. They landed and were greeted as aristocracy, learned aristocracy. The Eppersons, when asked to put down their occupation, put down ballast. So we grew up together and we ended up in Virginia together. Another reason I'm here is because of my relationship with Rob's father, Bob. And so you sit and you think of what I could say about Bob, and you have to go through a certain filter. First, the things I can remember and talk about with a mixed audience. And then you go through and, well, if you eliminate the language, it really cuts way back. But I remember going to see his CFO. What a wonderful, wonderful gentleman. I miss Bill terribly. And I'd ask questions. That was my job. They were public companies. I was writing stocks. And I'd ask Bill questions, and he'd say, I'm sorry, I can't answer that. You'd have to get Mr. Spillman. At the end of the interview, I said, can I speak to Mr. Spillman? He says, no, he doesn't talk to analysts. So I went to market, and there was Bob Spillman. And I recognized him. It was just like his picture in the annual report, only the picture in the annual report had hair. So I went over, introduced myself. It couldn't have been nicer. What a gentleman. And he asked several questions, and he said at the end, he introduced me to Joe Meadows, and he said, look, I'm here to sell furniture, not to talk to Wall Street analysts. Next time, you only get 2 questions. So I really thought about it. Next market, walked up to him, out on the highway, that big front porch. Went up to him and said, Mr. Spillman, do I get 2 questions? He said, yes. What's the second one? And of course, my firm is an investment banking firm. We do mergers and acquisitions and that kind of stuff. And there was a company that wanted to sell a division, and they wanted to do it quickly. And I said the only company that could do this would be Bassett. So I called Bob up. He said, yeah, I'm very interested. So we went down there, the company, everybody. Bob took me aside and said, okay, I know what they're asking. What's the absolute dead lowest price they'd take? Bob, I can't tell you that. They're my client. Somehow he had a convincing manner about him. And I told him what the company said they absolutely had to have. They couldn't do $1 less. And then he encouraged me to leave the room, and he visited with the president of this company. About 3 minutes later, he came out, and this man was strong. He grabbed me by my tie and lifted me, helped me out of my chair. He lifted me, and I don't remember my feet touching the ground until we got in his office. He said, you remember that dollar amount you told me? I offered him about 70% of that, and I can't say that word, took it. He was furious. He said I should have offered him half of it. Anyway. But as part of all this, I got to see Rob grow up. And seeing Rob grow up is kind of spooky because he looks so much like his dad. And you come to, just from seeing him, you kind of cringe and expect certain actions, but they don't come. He's a nice guy. And he went and worked for Sammy Finger, and he learned retail. And then he ran the upholstery division and learned upholstery. And then they gave him Impact, which was this promotional, how shall we say, styrene line. And he ran that, and he made it profitable. And he grew up in the business. And ladies and gentlemen, there's got to be a special place in heaven for young people that grow up with famous parents. Not that everybody expects the same greatness from them, but they put that pressure on themselves. And Rob is one of these young men that showed such insight early. There was no doubt in my mind he was going to be a superior CEO of that company. And when you look at the record he's established and what he's done with that company since he's been running it, and what Bassett represents in the market today, it's truly, truly, truly phenomenal and proves what a great young man he is. Young man, hell, he's not that young, he's just a hell of a lot younger than me. But anyway, young man that he is, and how much he deserves this award tonight. So I'm flattered to be here, I'm flattered to be asked. Hell, I'm flattered to be anywhere at my age. But thank you so very, very much. And Rob, you're not family, but I'm as proud of you as if you were. Thank you. You've done a hell of a job.
So I go to work every day in Bassett, Virginia, small town, Southern Virginia, just over the North Carolina line. The company and the town started at the same time, 1902. My great-grandfather was a farmer and a sawmiller. He got the contract to build the railroad through there, and after that, he needed to expand his market, and so he moved up to upstate New York and Michigan, where furniture was made in those days. Ultimately, his wife said, "Why don't we make the furniture here?" And he said, "That's a great idea," and they began to do it. So they built a factory, brought some of the relatives in, and began making bedroom furniture there in Bassett. I attended school there in Bassett Public School until the 9th grade, and I went off to a boys' boarding school, Central Virginia, Woodbury Forest, which I enjoyed very much, and then I went to Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. It came time for me to graduate, and in the back of my mind, I wanted to go in the furniture business, and ultimately I wanted to go to work for Bassett. I think in those days, the town of Bassett, Virginia was not big enough for myself and my dad. I had a couple fraternity brothers from Houston, Texas, and said, "Look, you don't want to move back to Bassett, Virginia." So I packed up my Mustang and drove to Houston, and the first Monday, I went to the employment office at Finger Furniture Company. It was the largest furniture retailer in Texas in those days. So after 6 years down there in Texas, I began to really want to come back and go to work for Bassett. And it was another unusual situation between my dad and me. He wasn't going to offer me a job, and I didn't want to ask him for one. But I had a good friend in the company, Alan Bowler, who was a real mentor to me, and I'd known since I was a child. And he was in charge of sales and merchandising for our upholstery division. And he called me one day down in Texas. He said, "When are y'all going to stop this nonsense, and when are you going to come to work for the company?" And I said, "Well, I hadn't been offered a job yet." And he said, "Well, I'm going to give you a job, and we'll tell your dad later." So that's what happened. I snuck up to Hickory, and we drove around and looked for apartments, and he described my responsibilities of what they would be. And in January 1984, I moved from Texas and went to work for Alan Bowler. Subsequent to that, Alan called my dad and said, "We got a new guy down here in sales." And he said, "Who is it?" And he said, "His name's Rob Spillman." So my dad professed to be upset, but I think he was really happy, and he told me so shortly thereafter.
Rob has been a close friend and professional colleague for more than 30 years. In the early 70s, I had one truck, and I was the driver, working with Rob's dad, Bob, and I moved my first load for Bassett Furniture Industries. That was the beginning of a relationship that exists today. Never have I met anyone who cares more about people, their lives, their families, their concerns, their opinions. Rob is one of those individuals who can easily set aside the corporate hat and be the regular guy sitting beside you, interested in you.
Hickory was a great experience for Nancy and me. We loved the town. Our 3 children were born there. While we were there enjoying life, the world was really changing. The Asian imports really began to rule the roost in the furniture business. Jeb Bassett, my cousin, and I went to China at my dad's behest in 1994 for 3 weeks. Actually, we went all over Asia, and we came back and realized that we were going to have to take control of our destiny. What we had built up over a century was at risk right before our eyes. Our solution was to open our own stores through third-party licensees. We did not have the retail staff in place to do it. And our first Bassett store opened in Austin, Texas in 1997. For the next few years, we were consumed with that until I became CEO in 2000.
I first met Rob playing golf, and I always admired his sense of humor and his competitive nature on the golf course. I often wondered if he carried those traits to work with him. You know, years later when I went to go work for Bassett, I found that to be true. You know, Rob loves to laugh, but he also loves to win.
2000 was a difficult time to become CEO of a public furniture company in the United States. Really was at the forefront of a very tough decade. In our case, we had to close many factories to adjust our capacity to our business. And then, of course, we had the Great Recession. So 2000 to 2010, very tough on the company, on a lot of people, and on the industry. We got through that. In 2011, our fortunes began to improve. We began to really understand where we fit in the retail concept. Our custom furniture capabilities had matured, and we began to open new stores and grow the company again, hire people again, and we've been on that track for the last 5 years. Very gratifying to say that.
Rob is genuine and honest, and I will cherish our relationship forever.
Rob, congratulations on receiving this well-deserved award. On behalf of the management team and employees, we want to thank you for your leadership and your friendship.
The Pillar of the Industry Award is a great honor, and I'm proud to receive it. But more so than that, it's a recognition of the hard work and teamwork, not only of the 114 years of Bassett, but also of these last 20 years. 15 years ago, people may have been saying, is Bassett going to make it? And I am very proud to be up here on behalf of all of the teammates at Bassett accepting recognition and an honor for our company.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so the former mayor of Charlotte, a great guy named John Belk, used to say, you know, if you live long enough, somebody might give you an award. And Jerry, believe it or not, I turned 60 on Friday. So my time is coming. How the hell old are you? I mean,
you can't count that high.
Well, I'm honored to have been introduced to you by Jerry, who's been a great friend of Bassett and of our family, as you heard, and of mine for many years, and it's fitting. So thank you. Next, I would like to ask our management, our sales reps, and our board of directors to please stand, and I'd like to give them a round of applause. So please. And the Zenith folks, too. You know, it takes a lot of great people to do good things in our business, and that's what's so great about it. And we have them, and we've had them for years and years. Appropriate that this is a gala that is sponsored by the organization that represents the representatives. And Bassett has a very rich history with sales representatives dating back over 100 years. You know, at one time, we had a network of warehouses all over the United States that were owned and operated by the sales reps. And the sales reps were our largest customers for decades, which seems very foreign to today, but names like Layden and Cleon and Druckmann and Aggie and Field, these guys were synonymous with the rise of Bassett over the years, and they were legends in our company. And today, names like Wims and Weathers and Kirchner and many others have a very different role and service the dealer in a way that's foreign to those old days, but very effective and very important to what we do at Bassett today. So, sales reps, thank you. You know, I'd like to acknowledge excuse me, our board of directors. at table 9. I can assure you I would not be up here accepting this award without them. They have had an unwavering belief in our strategy, and it's been tough to do it sometimes, but they have been very supportive. And I want to thank them for their role and what they've done for the shareholders and for our team. So, Board of Directors, thank you very much. And to our management, particularly here at Table 3 and at Table 16, incredible work over the last 2 decades. And, you know, the creativity, the positive attitude, the work ethic, and taking a company that had a model that was born in the early 20th century and turning it into a dynamic 21st century company has taken a lot of work. And this group has really done it, and I'm proud to be part of that team. And to my wife, Nancy, who I met down in Texas many years ago, and her family was in the oil business and didn't know anything about furniture. And I don't think she really had any idea what she was getting into when we got married. But she's been here every step of the way for this fascinating journey. And I love you, Nancy, and thank you for all your support over the years. Finally, I'd just like to say thank you to IHFRA for the whole organization and what you do for the sales reps and the many great programs that you have. And thank you for bestowing this honor upon me and for the Bassett organization. Congratulations to all the other winners. Look forward to hearing from the Capos, my friends, in a few moments. But this is a great evening for me, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Good evening.
So originally I was scheduled to give Mr. Spillman the award, and we sort of have a law that IHFRA members give the awards, and Jen called me one day and said, we have a very eager guy who really wants to talk at our thing. We said, well, give the kid a chance. And I love Jerry's enthusiasm for this industry. It's so encouraging. And thank you for making this a brighter night, Jerry. We appreciate having you here. Yep. If we could have Chuck Riley and Connie Post come up. On behalf of IHFRA, we're going to be making a donation to the City of Hope for Bassett and in honor of Mr. Spillman's achievements. So I've got a huge novelty check here if Chuck and Connie are available.
Connie, where are you? I'm not going to do this alone.
We're making Connie work tonight. I have to say, Connie Post is just the most phenomenal woman in the industry. We ran into a little glitch and called her during her dinner after she had been already accepted so many awards this market, and she just said, I'll come talk on the red carpet. I could do that. No problems. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Go ahead. You start. Go ahead.
Well, as a board member with the City of Hope, it is a pleasure and it is a passion for me personally. I had a sick child in the hospital, and I remember we had 7 surgeries, and once he ended up on the oncology ward, and this wonderful little 3-year-old munchkin came toddling down in her Bert and Ernie house slippers, her little hospital gown, completely bald, and her little IV pole. She came scuffling down to see who the new kid was on the floor, And while he didn't belong on that floor, she was animated and wanted to talk to him. And she said, I'm going to make you a picture. And she scuttled back, and before long, she came back with this wonderful picture of a house, her dog, her parents, and this little girl hanging out the window with long blonde hair, because she saw herself as the little girl with the long blonde hair. And I wondered as she scurried away if she made it. And I know how I felt in the hospital with a sick child, and it just hit me that I never ever wanted to have another parent feel the way that I felt. And that is exactly what has driven me to make a commitment to the City of Hope to work so that there is a cure for cancer and diabetes, and has been my personal passion. And it's a joy to serve on the board with people like Chuck and all the others so that we can make a difference in not only the lives of the people in this room, but your children and your children's children. So, Chuck.
You know, we're here tonight with the core of our industry, the sales professionals. We are in a profession, and I am so proud to be here as I believe a past sales professional as I was on the road, and everybody in this industry is in sales. And you know, sometimes we even have to sell ourselves and our friends and our families on doing things that are for a cause. And a cure is a cause, and I just want to thank you on behalf of City of Hope and all of the causes out there for something like this, because this is very meaningful. Okay. This is really meaningful, and thank you so much for what you do. This is truly a professional gesture. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
I think they got one. Thanks, guys. Just want to let you know that there will be a cash bar right after the band, and of course after the capos come up and receive their award. I want to let you know that the Bray Allegraza here and the Blues Extract are next, and then the capos, and that'll do it. So take it away, guys.
Man, I learned a lesson yesterday afternoon. I left work a little early. I got home way too soon. Found my woman hanging up in the arms of another man. Treachery and deceit, just a little more than I can stand. Don't you know the more you give, hope to be the more you get. I'm still working on it, baby. Ain't got caught up yet. You're gonna learn your lesson about the ways that you've been living. You're gonna get a double dose what it is you've been given. Well, I stole that woman from a friend of mine years or so ago. I know I should have known better. She told me that she loved me so. Now I know what I'm talking about when you're squealing in a troubled tree. All the dirty things she did to my friend, turn around and did it to me. Don't you know the more you give, supposed to be the more you get. I'm still working on it, baby. You ain't got caught up yet. You're gonna learn your lesson about the ways that you've been living. You're gonna get a double dose what it is you've been given. Get it right. I'm still working on it, baby. You ain't got caught that you've been living. You're gonna get a double, double dose. What it is you've been giving. Tommy Smith. You know the more you give, will be the more you get. I'm still working on it, baby. You ain't got caught up yet. You're gonna learn your lesson about the ways that you've been living. You're gonna get a double, double dose. What it is you've been given. Said you're gonna get a double, double dose. What it is you've been given.
All right. Let's give a good round of applause to Ray and the Blue Extract. Blues Extract. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you have all been waiting for will take place in a second. Tonight is a night of special people. Tonight is a night of special families. And it's also a night of having fun, enjoying our time with our peers, our associates, our factories, and most of all, our retailers who keep us all in business. Whether you're a rep or a manufacturer, it's the retailers that keep us alive. I am having the honor tonight to present this award of the Retailer of the Year to a family that not only has created a legacy in the furniture industry, but is an icon in having come from another country and creating a wonderful business. And the core of that business has really been the family, because that family is an unbelievable family. And for all of us that know that family, realize what I'm speaking about. And tonight we want to let everyone know how awesome this wonderful family is. In the past 20 years, 20 plus years, this family has been unbelievable in allowing me to present product and allowing all our other reps to make a living, to create families, and to show them product. And we don't always sell what we want, but at least we try, and they give us the opportunity, and I can never thank them enough for what they do for us. The most important thing that I can tell you is the father of this family, I had the pleasure of meeting and interacting for years, and very concerned man when somebody wanted a refund. Very concerned, not because of the money, but because of the principle. This is a man that loaned furniture to folks on a Thanksgiving day. This is a man that contributed philanthropy, hundreds of thousands of dollars to the community in South Florida. And this is a man that has taught their family and their next generation how to be the same. So let's watch this video to know who they are.
The history of El Dorado started on 1966. We escaped from Cuba in a boat called El Dorado. The boat actually came, my father, my brother, and myself. We actually arrived to Mexico first, and we were working there for 1 month. We actually made 25 cents an hour working in Mexico. We slept on a roof of the house, of the refugee house, because when we arrived there, was no space on the refugee house to be sleeping on. Then we came to the United States.
We say, wow, this is great. This country is great. We're making already 125 because we came to work in a furniture manufacturing facility, and the following day we were making 5 times more than we used to make in Mexico. We opened the furniture store on June of 1967. 3 months later, the Small Business Administration gave us $10,000 to be, working in the business. We have a lot of desire to succeed and so forth, but we don't have any money at the time. And that gave us a huge opportunity to grow and so forth. At the beginning, I did not know that much English. I don't know much English today either, but because actually I only went for night school for 2 weeks to learn the language. And actually my father said after 2 weeks, he said, you already know enough, so come back to work. So basically we were back and forth, working in the morning in one factory and then working in the furniture store. It was tough. And next year, the whole family actually came, my mom and my other 4 brothers. So we say, now we have everything. We're in heaven. We have the whole family together. We can do anything.
In 1980, El Dorado opened his second store. That store was a showroom, warehouse operation. I was in college at that time, and I was looking for an opportunity, and I found a newspaper ad looking for a hire. And I actually applied, and I was interviewed by one of the brothers, Julio. The first thing he asked me is, have you ever worked in a furniture store? I said, no. So actually, he gave me the opportunity, and it's been 36 years I've been working for El Dorado Furniture. In the next few years, we opened up 3 more stores. It was going great. In the early 90s, Hurricane Andrew hit South Florida, and it was devastating.
After Hurricane Andrews hit South Florida, we really have a big situation in the sense that the business was great before, but then when the hurricane hit, we have 3 stores less. One has about a foot of water on the floor, the other one lost a roof, and the other one, the wind got so much that devastated the whole store too. So all of a sudden, we had to close 3 of the stores that we have, and we say, what are we gonna do? So basically, we lease another warehouse facility. We started thinking bigger than before and tried to realize that the opportunity was there. It really wasn't a problem. It was an opportunity presented to us at that moment. Today, we have 1,000 employees in the company. At that time, we may have maybe 200 employees in the company. Something that my father always teach us at the beginning. With any problem that you have in life, you have to figure out where is the opportunity, and it's always there.
I know the Capot family for probably 25 or 30 years and done business with them and have been friends with them for that long. They treat their employees, they treat their vendors, and they treat their customers with the greatest dignity and honor that I think any retailer I can name that we do business with in the United States. They're truly unique in that respect. And they're genuine, and they're just nice people to do business with. And, although you'd like to say that about everybody in our industry, that's not necessarily true. And so it is, that's what makes them unique and truly stands out.
For our 45-year anniversary, we gave 45 family furniture for the entire home. It was heartwarming. We're doing that for the 50th anniversary again.
In the furniture business, you have to have passion. You have to have passion not just for the job that you do, but for the people around you, for the people you do business, for the consumer. In the morning when I go to work, actually I see things in a different way from what I saw the day before. And I try to learn from that. I try to see how I can make it better. I see how can we become a better company.
It's been a great honor working for the El Dorado family, not only for their hard work and dedication, but also for the 50 years of supporting South Florida as a furniture industry leaders.
On behalf of all of the suppliers and vendors of El Dorado Furniture, let me congratulate the Capot family on a great achievement, on a great business, and being great friends for all of us.
I would like to thank every single person who voted for this recognition to El Dorado Furniture family, and for over 1,000 employees that we have in the company. Without you, we were not able to accomplish this. And we really thank God for this opportunity, for being in the United States, the best country in the world, and also to being able to be recognized for something that we never thought about it 50 years ago. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2016 Retailer of the Year, Carlos and Pedro Capot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. He did a good job, right? Usually I get to do that, but I didn't come to pre-market, so he was able to do that for me. He studied it, and they sent the script and everything. So I think you did a great job. So he's learning a little bit more English now. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something, actually.
Yeah, right.
You know, at the beginning, when I don't, well, the same thing now, I don't know that much English anyway, but at the beginning, the reps came to sell me, and they tried to explain what I have to buy and so forth, and they always talk about the season. I don't know what a season was, because they tell me, well, now when the season come or whatever, and the season, but I never knew what a season was, so actually it took about 3 years for me to say, well, let me find out on the dictionary what a season is. Because basically, I bought furniture whenever I thought I need to buy furniture. I bought whatever price point it was. I don't care if it was December or January or whatever. I bought it in. So I pretend to know what they were telling me, but I don't know, you know.
That is great. Yes, that is great. Yes. You know, as a fact, my father have never lost a dime in the stock market. You know, even when the downfall, because he never spent a dime in the stock market. When the economy was terrible, and you know, the newspapers and the news magazines and the television were saying that the economy was bad, and you know, the recession in the 70s and in the 80s and so forth. He didn't know any English, so he didn't know. So we were just moving forward, doing what we needed to do, and that's how El Dorado got to where, you know, we are today. So first of all, like Carlos said, I want to thank God for giving us the opportunity to be here together and be sharing this with you. I truly want to thank also the United States of America. This is the best country in the world, guys. You know, when the Twin Towers got hit, everybody started getting the flag, American flag out, you know, all over the country, in their cars and this, that, or whatever. Well, let me tell you something. I'm so proud of this country that since I had my first office, I have the American flag on one side and my Cuban flag on the other. I always have it because I feel very proud of the United States. You know, we feel so proud of this industry. This industry has given us everything that we have right now and everything that we're planting for the future. Like Alfredo mentioned, next year will be 50 years that El Dorado was born here in the United States. We'll be celebrating the entire year, and we're very proud of the accomplishment that we have made so far. Now, I gotta tell you that one of the most deceptive industry is the area of the sales rep. Nobody wants to see a sales rep, not an insurance sales rep or a car sales rep, and even a furniture sales rep, for that matter. Either be on the side of the retail or the side, and that's you know, depending on how you look at the customer and so forth. But one of the things that my father always cherished was the information that the reps gave us, the trust of those reps 50 years ago when they knock on our door to sell Carlos the season furniture that he was buying. And they gave us credit on their own, not from the factory, but on their own, and they trusted us. As a matter of fact, we as a family appreciate so much what each and every one of the sales furniture reps do for us and for the industry, that in the early 1980s, I took a week off, and I literally went with one of my friends, a rep, and I visited the same stores that he would visit normally as a sub-rep. I'm not gonna tell you his name, and I'm not gonna tell you the stores that I visited, but I learned so much in that week. I learned that the reps were very bad treated on you know, every time they were knocking on the doors. Some of the gentlemen here mentioned before, when there were, you know, some of the buyers and some of the owners of furniture stores. I also learned that it's very hard to be there and traveling and making sure the swatches were correctly and the pricing and talking to the salespeople and you know, getting all the kind of information and so forth. And I remember coming back to the store and meeting with my father and my brother and saying, we got to change the way we do meetings and appointments with the reps. When a rep has a meeting and we have a 10 o'clock meeting, we got to make sure that rep does not wait another minute. His time is just as valuable as our time. So we really appreciate everything that you guys do. And you know, before I finish, I got to tell you a story about my father. As you know, my father passed away in 2009. Even though he knows he's here somewhere, and he's receiving this award on the entire family's behalf as well. And one trip in the market, imagine, not knowing the language, we went to dinner with some reps, and we're sitting in a round table similar to a dinner like this. And of course, after a few drinks, you know, the language starts to come naturally, right? So here's my father, here's Carlos, and then a couple of other reps are on the table. And then the reps knew that my father didn't know any English, so they start talking to him and so forth, but I could overhear what they were saying. And my father, the only words that he used to say was happy, beautiful, and wonderful. And then this guy was there, you know, telling him a story, and my father would go, oh, happy, yeah, happy, and get another drink and so forth. And then all of a sudden, oh, wonderful, wonderful. And, you know, and then he went on, and after a while, I went to my dad and said, Dad, you know the story that he was telling you? He just told you that his wife passed away last week. So, but the guy just kept on laughing because he was saying happy, wonderful, beautiful. So that's the kind of situation that you're going through without knowing the English in this industry. But this is a beautiful industry. We're very humbled to receive this award. We brought here with us, we have our buying team and some of them family members. If you guys can stand up, we got 10 of them right here. Thank you for coming and being here with us. And on behalf of the 1,000+ families that we have in Miami and all of South Florida, we want to receive this award. And I will leave you with 3 very powerful words: happy, beautiful, and wonderful. May God bless you. Thank you.
Okay, we have something special. Mr. Capo here created something in the philanthropy in South Florida that is very dear to his heart. That's Amigos for Kids. We have a check here for $2,500 for that philanthropy that he created, and it is unbelievably incredible. In Christmas time, they fill all their El Dorado trucks with toys and do an incredible picking up of toys for children, and they deliver it in all the areas in Miami that are needed to give toys to children that are in need. You know what happens when you put 12 Cubans in a room? You got Cuban salsa. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a wonderful night, but I can't stop but think that all of us are very good friends. We're all the furniture family. And I so much appreciate the fact that you have taken your very valuable time, and we're way past our designated time, but I want to introduce, which I already introduced, but it's unbelievable that we have such an unbelievable team of people in this organization that is going to take this to the next level. And I want to bring our brand new president, Mr. Jeff Weed. We got something special for Jeff because he's that kind of guy. Mr. Jeff? Satchel. I've never put on a sash. Wow. Here you go, sir. Thank you. Let's have a good round of applause for Jeff.
I've been demanding a sash for a year. I told them I wouldn't do it without a sash, and I guess I'm doing it now. I got a sash. I really want to thank everyone for sticking around. I know it's a long evening, and I'll be brief, but this is really a great honor for me. I think I should apologize to IHFRA in advance for a year of having to apologize for the name President Weed. It sounds like a horrific Cheech and Chong movie. I mean, it just writes itself. So for the press we're going to get for the next year of President Weed, I can't do anything about it. It's just out there, so we're going to have to just battle through. When I sat down to write my speech last night, I'm a millennial, so I'm not quite as up on technology as some of my peers. And I thought I'd dictate it into my cell phone. So I got my thoughts down, and I fell asleep with everything on, lights on, computer on, phone on. Woke up at 2 and figured I'll just look at it in the morning, and I did. There's a lot of things that autocorrect takes care of for you, so if there's parts of my speech that don't make sense, you'll know what happened. If I say things like ice cream, monkey, pogo sticks, or whatever, autocorrect seems to take care of that. As I've been thinking about what I really wanted to say tonight, I realized all I really want to do is thank an awful lot of people who have helped me along the way. This is a tremendous industry. And one thing I've got out of tonight watching people come up here is how rich and diverse our group is, and it's just wonderful. The first people I want to thank are my Ashley family. I've been there 16 years now. Yay, Ashley. Ron Wannick and Todd Wannick have taught me an awful lot. I've been with them, and one of the things that Ron taught me early on was that if it doesn't add value, eliminate it. And I take that to heart. I'm known as a pretty fun guy, but I'm not real fun in meetings because I really think that if we're going to do something right, it should have value. And I always look for value for our members. Todd taught me at a really, as I was starting up, that you have to remain an entrepreneur and you have to keep taking chances. You can never rest on what you've got. And that's really helped me quite a bit. But I would say my biggest mentor at Ashley has been Carrie Liebensberger. And I know Carrie probably went to bed already. That's cool. But Carrie has really always challenged me, and I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today without him. I have a great team in Chicago. I came into the business through the family, as I always do, but there's one individual I'd like to thank very much. His name is Victor Torres. He's been working with me since 1999. I was 29 years old in the south side of Chicago. We were both waiting for the guy who owned the store to show up. And I was telling Victor how hard it was to find good people to work as a rep. And Victor was telling me how he opens the door, closes the door, sells the furniture, then delivers the furniture, then does the receipts at the end of the night. And I said, wow, you do everything I need to do. And he said, yeah, you should hire me. So I did. And 17 years later, he's really very special to me. And Victor, you're more than an employee, you're family, and I really appreciate everything you've done with me along the way. I came into IHFRA through the Midwest Furniture Club, and I hope my Chicago folks are still here. Where are you? Yeah, that's the Cheech and Chong I'm talking about. Hey, these guys are phenomenal. Arthur Cirque, who was a past president of IHFRA, I believe in the year 1902, and is still active. He's a great guy, but he's old. But he's wonderful, and Arthur has been a tremendous influence on me. I absolutely love him. He's old school. He still shows up. He still tells us everything we're not doing right, and he's made the Midwest Furniture Club fantastic. But the person I want to blame the most is Brad Kofoid. Brad brought me into this organization, and he absolutely has always demanded that I do more. And Brad is the kind of rep that I always envied. When I grow up, I want to be just like him. He's phenomenal. He's giving. He's challenging. He's a real Chicago guy. And Brad has been the kind of marketing rep that I've always tried to emulate and never quite got there. So Brad, thank you. And slow down a little bit. Let us catch up. Be nice. Ah, shucks. And then among retailers, of course, Bruce Berman, Frank DeAngelis, and Bob Kramer from Chicago have all challenged me and helped me develop into who I am today. And of course, my mom and dad, my sisters, my wife, Diana and my 3 daughters who make sure that every day's great and that I keep working because we live in Chicago and they go to private school. And I love them, but they do cost a lot. So enough about thanking people. I'd just like to talk a little bit about what our goals are at IHFRA this year and what we're going to do. We're truly lucky, our board of directors, because the past presidents and past executives, people you saw up here tonight, have created an organization that is stable, that's dynamic, that's growing. Even I don't think in a year I could screw it up. It's tremendous. But IHFRA at one point was in very dire financial straits, and I think we're coming to a place now where we're losing our mentality of starvation. We're starting to look at what we have available to us, and we really feel that we can start spreading our wings a little bit and really become a more powerful force within the industry. There's a great 20th century philosopher poet called Larry the Cable Guy who says, "Hold my beer and watch this." And that's kind of our attitude. We're going to do great things, this group, and we're going to continue to grow from the trouble that Kathy described into something a little bit bigger. So I have a plan for all you. Everybody here is in sales, as someone up here said earlier. Everyone understands the language of being a sales manager, so there's nothing that says sort of fancy Gala more than talking about sales quotas. I see myself as a sales manager of 2,300 people, and I have a request for you in the sort of spirit of Jack Kennedy, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And it's a real simple quota. It's 1. If every member of IHFRA and every person here tonight just simply spread the word about everything we do for the industry, the benefits and how we look out for the reps, and just recruited 1 person, that would be enough. You have 256 days to sell 1 thing. I think you can do it. It's meaningful. I think one of the nice things about the job is you go around and you talk to people, and everyone talks about how great the benefits are and how much they get out of it. And if you're not helping your fellow reps by joining IHFRA, then you're really doing them a disservice. So if you can bring 1 person to the table this year, as a salesperson, that shouldn't be hard, we'd appreciate it. The other major changes we're seeing is that there's a dramatic shift away from local chapters to national chapters. There's some very powerful chapters in New York and Florida. There's some good chapters in Chicago and Michigan, LA. But we'd like to see some of the folks go back in the field with some new energy and reinvest in their local chapters, because the local retailers and the local reps can do wonders in their own communities. And that's really what we're here for. I mean, we're here to make good livings for our families, but a fulfilling life isn't about making money, as we all know. It's sort of about what we build and what we can give. And we're all in a fairly fortunate position that we have good jobs, we have good people to work with, but together we're a force. So take that locally home. Don't be afraid to get together and work things out. My Chicago friends and I compete every day. We see each other, but at the end of the day, we build great things with each other. I'm really proud of what we do together. We also, as the IHFRA this year, we really want to get closer to some of the other associations that are active in our industry. We want to help manufacturers fight onerous restrictions in government. We want to see people like ASAD and HFA and with it prosper, and we want to have a role in that as well. And we want to grow our membership in the West. So we'll continue to have parties out in Las Vegas. Oh, pardon me. We'll continue to have parties out in Las Vegas. Everyone said the idea of a cocktail party in Las Vegas is a horrible idea because why would anybody go to a cocktail party in Las Vegas? And we kind of agreed with them. We did it anyway, and we had about 400 people. So we're going to have another cocktail party. So come on out if you're at the market and have a drink with us. Can't hurt. And let's see. The last thing I sort of want to give to you to take back after tonight is we're going to be establishing what we call an IHFRA ambassador program. One of the things I'm proud about our board is we have some nice geographical diversity. We're starting to look out for different areas of the country. This has traditionally been a North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia-based group, and we're starting to spread our wings a little bit. But we need to develop some more talent. And to that end, we're going to start what we call the IHFRA Ambassador Program. It's a program among the top 100 manufacturers of furniture or sleep products. We simply are looking for people who like IHFRA, can explain what IHFRA does, and know Jen and Kathy's phone number. Not a hard job, but the idea is real simple. One of the most frustrating things for us is when we ask why people don't join IHFRA, they don't give us a good reason other than, I don't know, it seems tough. It's hard. Like, I don't know what an IHFRA is. How do I get on the website? We're going to try and take all those complaints away and build a little army of people who love us, appreciate us, and want to grow. And from that group, hopefully, we'll start to develop some more talent to come into the executive committee to continue to diversify it and make it look more like our customer base as well as our manufacturing base. So, that all said, I'm extremely humbled. I spent an hour today looking at the wall, looking at all the people who have come before me. I'm excited to work with who we work with, and I'm very, very appreciative of all of you who took your Monday night after an exhausting market to come with us and celebrate all these terrific people. We're gonna have a great year. Please stay with us, stay engaged, and thank you. Please stick around for the band, have a drink, and have a great rest of your market.